Hey guys,
This is Courtney.
this is Darryl.
And I know you're tired of seeing us, but we're back! Yay! Girl, you don't know if you're gonna post these back to back. Don't be calling them that. And we're here. Yay! So we are coming to you guys and talking about the
myth.
timeless question, the myth, and everything in between of can guys and girls be friends platonically?
Yeah.
What do you think? Because I think we think the same thing, but I'm not.
Well, I think the answer is yes. I think that's obvious. I think why it's not widely accepted as an obvious thing is because, I think there's just a lot of misunderstanding of friendship in general. And I think on a very general level, if we were all better friends, I think we would know how to be friends with the opposite sex, and I think a lot of just misunderstanding of that has been an issue. I don't know, what's been your experience with it?
I also agree. I'd say yes. Having a male friend, I do think that a lot of people they make assumptions that, oh, hey, this guy is talking to me, or if you're a guy, this girl is talking to me. We're so quick to think that they're trying to get with me, they're feeling me, or whatever the case may be. So we're already looking at the opposite gender as a potential, and we need to look at them as friends or as brothers or sisters, or try to build that foundation before anything goes. Let's grow a friendship, let's be friends. And sometimes there may be an interest there that could progress to more, and sometimes you guys are friends. You guys are just friends, and that's okay. Even though others may not think so.
I think in a world and a culture where we value things like sexual fluidity, where we value this liberation kind of idea around sex, I think we give sex in general a certain amount of power and a certain amount of a certain amount of say-so in our lives that it wasn't really created to actually have. When you look in the Bible, like, Jesus is described as a friend who sticks closer than a brother, and even we are now called friends of God. Yes, as the church, we are the bride of Christ, and yes, marriage and sex both image the gospel in beautiful ways, but we're friends of God, and so God values friendship. I even look at the friendship of David and Jonathan, and how culture just can't accept that these were two heterosexual men who vowed friendship to each other, because we just can't fathom a world where that intimate of a relationship can be without sex. And I think that's really the main issue, is that so many people are missing out on valuable friendships and connections because their interaction with the opposite sex or the same sex has been so sexualized, or has been expected of them from their friends or from outside voices, to expect that this is something that might happen, when in reality, I know my life has been blessed by female friends, and it's been blessed by sisters in Christ who are just as much iron as my male friends are, and that have sharpened me in ways that only a female sister in Christ could. And so I'm thankful for that. And I know saints may be on all different levels with attractions and where those are pointed or where those are oriented, but at the end of the day, I think the value of friendship is seen in the Bible. I think it is expected of us to be friends. I think having that kind of love is something that the Lord puts in your heart, and so it's not just a romantic sexual kind of love that we should always be expecting, even if it's from a sex that we're attracted to. The Lord has given us friendship as a gift, and I think it's one we don't use often. I'd like to see that more in opposite gender friendships.
I agree. And just on my personal journey, when I first started my walk with Christ, I was very intentional about being single. I didn't want to date anybody because I wanted to truly learn how to honor and respect men on that friendship level, because there, like he said, there are things that men could share and like their perspectives that they could give to me that me as a woman I would not be able to understand. So I spent about a year, probably a year and a half, on really being intentional of the men that come into my life that would help me grow as a woman of God and allow it to be strictly platonic. And it wasn't anything that like I just assumed like, oh, y'all gonna want to talk to me. But no, these guys they knew my walk and they were willing to help me along that walk. Like you said, iron sharpening iron. I was very thankful to have those men in my life. And I think a lot of people can't be friends with the opposite gender because, as he said, as a culture and as a society, it's always in your face that if you have an opposite gender friend, you guys are meant to be together. It's like, oh, they were there all along. It was always you. They're always they're always pushing that. You see it in movies and shows, and you see it everywhere. And it's like you're always supposed to, if there's a man in your life, whether it's just a friend or whatever the case may be, you have to even look at them as, a love interest, sort of in that sense. And just for us, we've been really great friends, and a lot of people, well, do you want to talk about our story first, or do you want to talk about what people kept saying, or how people?
I think it's all.
Okay. Okay. When we met, we got really close and we became really great friends, and we always hung out together. We always did stuff together, and it was never anything left, but people always assumed like, yo, you guys are always together. You guys are always hanging out. Like, what's going on? And they wouldn't even believe us even when we said like we're friends, and there have been individuals that were interested in us and just stopped because they're like, oh, Courtney's here, or Darryl's, I see that you guys are spending time together, and so okay, and so that would turn them off. So it was just crazy. It's settled down a lot now. But
yeah, and I think the last thing I would add to it, I think as men, I've wanted my male friends to see the benefit of having female friends. I think, just in this culture of, being honest about sexual assault and all of those kind of things, we see as a society, we have a problem connecting with the opposite gender for whatever reason. And I think a lot of that is because we don't value friendship. So in that, I think I've already talked about me, but I think a lot of my male friends who have opposite friendships, they just talked about how it's helped them see a different side. It's actually, if they're married, helped them be better spouses. To who knew that being friends with your wife helped the marriage out, right? And so all of those things just kind of bring it back to the main point that friendship is a gift that God has given us, and it wasn't meant to just extend out in one way, because Courtney is not just my sister in Christ, she's a fellow image bearer of God. And so in that way, both of us have a piece of God in us and about us, and we were made to connect in that way. And so, just think on that, pray on that. If you guys have had a positive experience with a platonic friendship with the opposite sex, we want to hear about it. Or if you may not have had a positive one, we would like to hear about it. If you have a differing opinion or just something to say on it, we'd love to hear about it.
One last thing. So I guess a lot of people are interested in dating. Like, what does your significant other, what does your boyfriend or what does your girlfriend say, knowing that you have a close male friend or female friend? And I would say that if you already have those boundaries in place, it's not an issue to your significant other. As long as you respect the other individual and as long as you have those boundaries with your platonic best friend that you should have anyway, it should never be an issue. So yeah, like Darryl said, we would love to hear your stories of your friendships or your brothers and sisters in Christ, or if you have any questions about platonic friendships, we would love to help you guys out. You can just comment below. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on all of our platforms. And until next time, have a good time. Bye.
See you guys.